Moving too bossy, we don't tread softly,
All right, you guys, so next story up. You guys, what is going on with Cardi B and Offset? Like, what is really happening over there? So I have been noticing that Offset has been doing a lot of things recently and hadn't had Cardi B with him. You know, usually they do things side by side, especially when it comes to the family. So we had saw that Offset had taken his daughters to the Little Mermaid debut that they had in Hollywood, the one that they had in the premiere party that they had in Hollywood. He had taken his two little girls to that. They looked beautiful. And then we just recently saw that he was in Paris for Fashion Week, and you know, I think it's Men's Fashion Week out there now, and Cardi B didn't go. You know, I thought that it was kind of strange that she wasn't there, but then I was just like, okay, maybe she has other obligations, and it is Men's Fashion Week, and so maybe she's just letting him do. But I did kind of notice that they hadn't been doing things or posting things together recently, but she did post on Father's Day, you know, the video of the kids and them saying how much they love their dad. You know, she posted a video of all the kids saying why they, you know, the reasons why they love their dad. So I was just like, okay, maybe it's nothing, but I had noticed. And then after that, it had come out on the blogs that Offset, there was some woman that supposedly he was messing around with, that he snuck into their home in California to, you know, mess around with. And apparently this girl has been around since 2012, 2013, and that she's saying, this woman is maintaining that her and Offset still maintain a relationship to this day, and blasted, you know, just classic side chick antics that they do. Okay, Offset doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to past indiscretions. And we know that him and Cardi B have filed for divorce quite a few times. Well, Cardi B has filed for divorce quite a few times from Offset because of him not being able to keep it in his pants. I thought that we had gotten past that after they, you know, after he got caught that last time, and she took him back, and they said that they was working on it, and then it looked like they was very happy and all of that, and I was just like, okay, maybe he done got it out of his system. But some people will say that a tiger never loses his stripes, right? And you know, some people are saying that he's been cheating all along. I didn't know whether or not to believe that story. I was just like, it would be so stupid of Offset to still be doing shit like this. Just any random girl. Maybe he felt like he could trust her since they was have been fooling around since 2012 or whatever. But I just was like, I just don't understand. I was just hoping. So I was just like, wasn't sure if I believed that story or not. But, you know, the girl was pretty adamant, and she was trying to post and show all of the stuff, and the, you know, the text messages of him trying to sneak her in and telling her to wait. You know, sometimes it was like Cardi was walking out the front door, she was coming in the back door, kind of one of them type of situations, you know, scandalous. And then we had Cardi B go on to Twitter Spaces, and she addressed it. She was just like, okay, so no, let me back up. Apparently, also Offset, in whatever these issues that him and Cardi B are having, he posted on his social media, he said a post saying, my wife fucked a nigga on me, gang. Y'all niggas know how I come. Okay? And I was just like, now it's one thing for Offset to be fucking around, you know, and these groupie women keeping his secret and all of that. But I was just like, Cardi B is supposedly fucking around on Offset. I was just like, okay, Offset, now what is this? So she ended up addressing that on Twitter Spaces. You know how Cardi B is. She always singing or doing something silly. So she was singing, I Should Have Cheated, you know, the Keisha Cole song. You know, first of all, don't say, you know, don't accuse me of all the things that you know that you guilty of. The first line that Keisha Cole say in the song, okay, that's what she was just like, you know, basically his ass be out there doing whatever the fuck he be doing, and now he done got up in his head so tough, and he's spiraling out of control, and he's worried that, you know, I am now messing around with somebody. She was just like, I am Cardi B, okay? I can't just fuck around with anybody. Really, she can't fuck around with nobody, because she was just like, if it was just a regular Joe Blow or a regular degular schmegular guy, like she would say, of course they would tell. And then even if she fucked somebody in the industry, that, you know, that would get out as well. It's not easy to, especially as a woman, to get out there and cheat. And you guys know also the stigma of it. You know, men, the double standard of it. Men, when they cheat as celebrities, it's just sort of like expected. But as women, then of course she would be a hoe. Like, you know, you're a mother of 2 children. Well, Offset is a father of what, 6 kids or something, you know? But that's what I'm saying. It's like women, there's just no way that Cardi B could easily be out there cheating with anybody. I mean, it's possible, but it would really be stupid of her to take that risk. Okay. So she was just like, you know, don't even pay no attention to that country nigga, y'all. Okay. He's just over there just kind of having his own moment. I don't know if Offset is going through, you know, some like little mental break or whatever, but there's definitely something going on in the Cardi B and Offset household, okay? Which is too bad, because they done been together all this time. Y'all done fought through a whole bunch of different problems that you guys have had. You know, you have your kids, your family, like, you know, that's not something that I want to see. But I'm just really trying to figure it out, because even though she denies all of the things, I mean, she basically was just like, you guys be so worried about our relationship, what we doing, who we fucking, and all of that. She was just like, even if her and Offset did break up, she just gonna find her a new nigga that's gonna, you know, so like, it's just like, I was just like, girl, I guess it's the same. It's gonna be, the problem's gonna be whoever you with, because they gonna definitely come after her. I mean, the folks that don't like Cardi B are definitely still going to be coming for her, whatever relationship that she's in, you know. But yeah, Cardi B says she can't give this PUSSY to just anybody. Okay, this is just for her and Offset. And if Offset act like he don't want it, then, you know, then they'll just have to address that too eventually. But yeah, I was just like, oh, don't tell me that, you know, Cardi B and Offset is on the outs. But then it started making sense, because then I was just like, so Offset and Quavo, they say that they actually have made up some weeks ago. There was always a rumor that Quavo and them did, I mean, that Cardi B, I'm not saying that this is true, but I'm just saying that there was a rumor that they weren't really liking Cardi B's influence on Offset when they was in the Migos together. They didn't like the fact, I don't know if they didn't just like Cardi B, or they just didn't like her influence on the decisions that he made when it came to the group. And I don't know if they considered her a problem starter or what, but, you know, there were always rumors that they didn't really see eye to eye. But now that Quavo and Offset have made up, and now that Cardi B is kind of and Offset are kind of on the outs, it makes you wonder if all of that stuff was kind of true. And does that have something to do with the fact that the rest of the family didn't want to have to deal with Offset and all, you know? But then again, it's just sort of like, why do we care this much? This is somebody else's fucking relationship. I mean, it's pains, growing pains when you getting married and all. It's like, you know, you fight, you go through it, you grow through it, you know, and you move on. So we'll see what happened, but something definitely is up. Something is up in that household, and hopefully they can get it together, because, you know, they got young kids, and I do feel like they love each other, but we also need you to not be fucking everybody, Offset. And if that's what you're doing and sneaking women in, that's like another, like, you know how I feel about when women get with the men of their friends. Another thing, a problem that I have, is when people be sneaking folks into their own damn house. Like, can you have at least a little bit of respect for your relationship? If you gonna fuck around, can you guys go to their place, you know, like wherever you're gonna be going? Please don't be bring these people into the sanctity of your own home. Not your marital bed, and you got some hoe just hopping up and down on you on that bed. Oh my God, blasphemous. Terrible. Just terrible, you guys. So, maybe you guys that follow them, follow the stories and all, if you can make more sense of it, if I'm completely off and completely wrong, y'all can let me know. But yeah, tell me, do you believe that Cardi B and Offset is on the offs? I do think something's going on, y'all. We gonna keep our good eye on it.
Bossy, the streets that taught me, but we're too bossy, we don't tread softly,
All right, you guys, next story up. You guys, this story is crazy. I just don't know what is going on in the world today. Really, I'm not sure if I believe this story 100%. I feel like there are some inaccuracies, and I think somebody is lying, okay? But I'm gonna go on and tell you. So, on June 16th, around 1-ish or so, Phoebe Copus, 48-year-old woman that was visiting from, I think she was visiting from South Carolina. Where was she visiting from? She was visiting from Kentucky. It doesn't matter, but I just wanted to tell you guys. So she was visiting El Paso, Texas from Kentucky. She was visiting her boyfriend. She had a long-distance boyfriend, and she was in El Paso to visit. She called an Uber, and 52-year-old Daniel Piedra Garcia picked her up in his Uber, and he was heading to the address that she had entered. Well, while she was in the backseat of the car, she started looking. You know how you look up at the freeway and you can see the signs that say, for instance, I could be driving on the freeway and it'll say Birmingham, Alabama, you know. Well, obviously, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Birmingham is some miles away, but if you are going to Birmingham, or if you're going in that direction, then you are on the right freeway. That don't mean that Birmingham is on the next exit. She was looking at the signs, and one of the signs that they passed said Jalisco, okay? No, sorry, Juarez, Mexico. And when she saw that sign a couple of times, she started to get nervous and felt that Garcia was kidnapping her. Now, the story hasn't told us whether or not there was any conversation. The way that they've reported it anyway, it doesn't sound like there was any conversation. It sounds like this woman pulled a gun out of her purse and aimed it at the back of Garcia's head and shot him and killed him, okay? While he was driving. He hadn't even pulled over. What I don't understand is we couldn't just say, hey, I don't feel safe, pull over and let me out. Okay? Again, we don't know if there was conversation that was had between the two of them. At least they haven't said. But she ended up shooting and killing him. He ended up crashing into the middle of, you know how they have those big barrels with the water on the highway. He ended up crashing into one of those. And then she took a picture of the driver, which was very peculiar, and sent it to the boyfriend. Now, I'm assuming the boyfriend got that picture and was just like, what the fuck? Call the police. So then she ended up calling the police, and the police came, and they ended up arresting her for murder. And she explained to them that she felt, you know, she was worried that she was being kidnapped. I'm just like, that makes absolutely no sense. You know, like, what made her think that? Because when they look at the tracking of the vehicle, he was headed, it wasn't like he was off the route. You know, when you are on Uber, you can actually look at the route, even if she wasn't familiar with El Paso, Texas, but you can actually look on the app and it'll tell you exactly where you are, and it'll show you the destination, and it'll show the path, and you can check to make sure that you guys are on the right path, you know? So, to me, I don't really know what Miss Copus was going through, but that's just, yeah, plain face murder. And really, I want to know more about this story, because why are we sending pictures to the boyfriend? You know, if I The only thing that makes me realize that this was more of a random happening and not something that was more planned out is the fact that you can't choose your drivers on Uber. At least I don't think you can, right? So, you know, it just was the luck of the draw that Garcia was the person that picked her up, you know, and was it in her mind that day that she was going to shoot and kill somebody like a Uber driver? Because then again, like, why do you have a gun with you? You're in Texas. Well, you can actually have a gun in Texas, so. But what I'm saying is just like, what was the, you know, the story just don't sound right. The story just doesn't sound right. The poor Garcia man, you know, they said that this was his last pickup of the day and that his wife had expected him home, you know, after a while, and his wife was, you know, started to get worried that he hadn't shown up. They started calling around to the hospitals, the jails. You guys know how it is. You calling around trying to see if maybe they had a person anonymous, you know, that they had admitted. And there wasn't any of that. Then somebody in the family saw that an Uber driver had gotten shot. So they ended up contacting the police department. And then that's when they found out that their father, their husband, their brother, their uncle, cousin, their family one, their, you know, family member, their loved one was shot and killed because this woman thought that he was kidnapping them. Okay. So awful, because now Garcia is not there to, be there for his family, and this woman is now in jail. They are holding her on a $1.5 million bail, on $1.5 million bond, and at first they had charged her with aggravated assault, but now they've upgraded it to murder. All day I've been talking about upgrading and downgrading charges, but yeah, they upgraded it to murder. And we'll see what happens with her. But yeah, such a strange story. It's just like, girl, what happened? How did you get that anxious and upset, thinking that this man was taking you down to Mexico, knowing that you was in El Paso? Well, you couldn't look on your app? Yeah, you guys, that story is weird to me. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that the lady just decided to kill somebody that day, or do you think her nerves was really that bad? Child, maybe you don't need to be in the Uber if that's, you know, if that's how you gonna be. Prayers up for the Garcia family. You know, it's too bad that the man had to lose his life that day. So hopefully something does happen to Miss Phoebe Copas.
But not flossy, the streets that taught me, I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from
all right, you guys, next story up. So, Kodak Black, he's another one that I seem to talk about pretty often, okay? But his stories, they do kind of stretch out, you know, some months between. But he does stay in these blogs and these top of the blogs as well. So remember I told you guys that he had failed to go to some drug testing, and they were about to like revoke his bond. He was gonna have to come back into jail and all of that, and his lawyer was trying to work some things out. Anyway, he ended up turning himself in recently because he had missed a required drug test. And this came right after we saw a video. So there was a video going around right around the same, was it, did I see that right before the BET Awards? I think it was the BET Awards weekend out there in LA. And there was a video of him where he was clearly either drunk or high, but he was babbling. He had like that high babble, you know, when it just be like they just be talking and just be talking about nothing, and it just keeps on going and going and all. So it was kind of one of those things, and it was alarming because I was just like, now I know good and damn well this boy got to do required drug tests, and he ain't gonna pass a test like this, you know. So anyway, he ended up turning himself in. Listen, I don't know who Kodak Black has as his lawyer, but he got a damn good lawyer, because that lawyer has worked miracles for Kodak Black, okay? So he turned himself in because, you know, failure to comply with his drug testing. He ended up getting in there, and it turned out to work in his favor because his lawyer had argued that it's too rigorous. The drug testing, random drug testing that they have him do is too rigorous. He can't get to all of these appointments and things that they just spring out of the blue on him. He's an entertainer, so, you know, he has to travel, and I guess they have to trying to line up these drug tests in different places, and it's just become too much. And he wanted them to drop these all of these rigorous standards that he needed to do for these drug tests, and then the judge ended up agreeing with him, so they dropped these rigorous drug testing from his schedule, so he doesn't have to report. I'm sure he probably still has to do some drug testing, but it won't be the way that they have it set up, because the way that they was making it seem is like every time they turned around, they was telling him that they needed to drug test him, okay, and it was creating problems. So the judge agreed and ended up dropping it. So now he's able to travel the world freely, and he won't be subjected to these drug tests. I'm hoping just not as often, because, I mean, clearly the man might have well, I won't say clearly. Let me not get myself in trouble. But, you know, we've seen videos. I mean, we know how Kodak Black is when he's sober. And that video, for instance, that I was talking about, he obviously was not sober in that video. So, I mean, but a win is a win, right? And, yeah, he don't have to have those stringent demands on testing. Now, they did up his bonds. Originally, he had to pay $75,000, and now he had to pay, they upped it to $250,000. So he paid the extra whatever it was that he needed to make that up, $175,000 or whatever, and then they let him go. And so, yeah, it was a win for Kodak. He don't have to go to jail. I mean, go to drug testing too much. He didn't even have to stay in jail long, even with that video of him circulating. So, like I said, I don't know who his damn lawyer is, but honey, they be getting Kodak out of some binds, honey. Find out who his lawyer is. You in trouble, that's who you need to get.
And I knew I was since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming.
All right, you guys, next story up. So this is an interesting story. One of the Roxstars asked me yesterday. They said, Roxanne, can you talk about Shirley Strawberry's husband, Ernesto Williams? That they hadn't heard people talking about that story. I hadn't heard a story. First of all, I ain't even thought about Shirley Strawberry. I forgot all about that lady. Is she still on the Steve Harvey show? Remember, everybody used to think that she had like this big old crush on Steve Harvey, and that, you know, she was just always there, and then all of a sudden she was getting married, and I was just like, oh, so she done found somebody, you know, to take her attention off of Steve. Not saying that her and Steve had ever messed around or anything, but people used to always say that she was just like super infatuated with Steve Harvey. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I hadn't forgot about Shirley Strawberry. I forgot that she had gotten married, all of that. But apparently the woman is still around, and yeah, her husband, Ernest Williams, was arrested for fraud. Apparently, this man and his partner, what is her name? Ernest Williams is 57 years old. He also goes by Nesto, okay? And his partner, Erica King, who also goes by Erica Hughley or Erica Hughley Rothschild, okay? Anyway, him and his partner, they had this whole scam going where they were letting people know that they could help them with their businesses. They told them that they would help them grow their brands, help them grow their social media presence, you know, figure out the mission statements for their businesses, their life goals, where it fits in their business, all of that they were going to help them. And there were people that they approached out here in Atlanta who spent a lot of money for them to help them do it, and then they didn't do anything, okay? And they're saying that this is $1 million, could potentially be millions of dollars, where people invested in Ernest and Erica's business, you know, hired them on to help them with with their business acumen, and then they didn't have anything. So they ended up getting arrested here in Roswell by the Roswell police. Roswell is a suburb of Atlanta. And yeah, they've been in jail. They said that there's been over a dozen people that have been affected. They do think that there were more people that were probably approached and probably even gave their money to them that haven't reported it, either because they're embarrassed or they've just decided to just write it off as a bad experience or whatever. But the police is hoping that if anybody else was approached by them, that they do have a case going, and that you need to call, contact the Roswell Police Department, because apparently Mr. Nesto and Erica is out there, scamming the people for their money. You got to be careful out here in Atlanta. I just did a post of the things that have Atlanta in a chokehold, and unfortunately so there's quite a few scammers out here in Atlanta as well that I forgot to to put on my list on Instagram. But yeah, there is a lot of people, and that's why you have to be careful when you see these things where people are like offering classes for networking and offering, these different things that you have to pay your good hard money to. I'm not saying that everybody is a scammer. There are legitimate people out there that do those things, but more often than not, you need to be doing your research, because motherfuckers out here will take your damn money and sell you a dream and move on with their lives. And here you are, some thousands of dollars less. You just done padded their pocket, and your business is still as fucked up as it was before you met these people. So, you just have to be careful. So, but yeah, that was an interesting thing, because I was just like, first of all, Shirley Strawberry, like, where does Lady be? I forgot all about that lady. I don't listen. First of all, I don't even really be in my car because, well, my working from home is coming to an end soon, but I used to listen to all of that when I would be in the car listening to the radio in the car. And, sometimes I would go by Steve Harvey's morning show. And that's the only way that I remember Shirley. But yeah, girl, Shirley, man, out there stealing these folk money. And honey, the Roswell police was like, not today. Hey, Roxstars, this is Roxanne coming to you from the future as I'm editing. Literally, as I was editing this video, someone just reached out to me and told me that Shirley Strawberry's husband has been ordered to stay away from children and animals, and that he's got a whole bunch of other shit going on down there in Florida. I was not aware of any of this, so I didn't put this in the video. But I just had to speak on it because they're not really saying why he's been ordered. But, when you've been ordered to do something like this, that usually means because you've done something to children and animals. And what more really can you do other than either abuse them sexually or physically? Something is not right with Ernesto or Nesto or Ernest or whatever they call him. I know Shirley Strawberry is just like, what the fuck? I'm sure she didn't need this kind of drama in her life. And I'm just like, are they still married? Like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand how it is that we even got to this point. Are they still together? What did he do? What's the tea, y'all? Do you guys know? This is craziness. All right, you guys, this is just a quick little update. Last week I told you, or a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys that Whoopi Goldberg was interested in taking the host position of Wheel of Fortune once Pat Sajak retires. It is the 41st season of Wheel of Fortune will be starting, and Pat Sajak made the announcement that this will be his last season. He is retiring. I thought Vanna White was retiring as well. No, Vanna White is not retiring, just Pat. So Vanna will still stay on there, and they needed a host. So Whoopi Goldberg, there were a lot of people that were saying that they wanted the job. They ended up giving the job to Ryan Seacrest, which I was surprised. I was just like, not the eternal host. I mean, we have seen Ryan Seacrest. I mean, that's what he does, is hosting. But I guess game show is still hosting. You're a game show host, And they gave it to Ryan Seacrest. I know he's probably happy about that, because that probably lightens up his schedule some. You know, Ryan Seacrest is kind of like the hardest working man in Hollywood. This man is everywhere. And, you know, he was on not Good Morning America. We thought he was going to Good Morning America. But he was on Kelly and Ryan. And then they announced that he was leaving and that Mark Consuelos was going to take his place, which is Kelly's husband. They're cute, y'all. Love him. I'm telling you, Kelly Ripa is my spirit animal. We have such of the same thoughts and personality and sense of humor and everything. I just love her show. I know a lot of people don't like Kelly Ripa, but I love her to death, you guys. I do. But anyway, Ryan, when he left there, I was just like, okay, maybe it's starting to be too demanding. We know that Ryan Seacrest remember we thought he was having a stroke on the finale of that American Idol when they had it do it virtually. And remember, his face was drooped on one side when he was announcing like the winner and everything. And everybody was like, oh my God, is he having a stroke? So then I was like, something is going on. Maybe he needs to take a step back. He's doing too much. He's on that show, Kelly and Ryan. He also had his show on, he was still doing radio on Kiss FM, I believe, in Los Angeles. And then he also producing on on the E network. Like he's the producer for the Kardashians on Hulu. And he's like, so he had a lot of shit that he was doing, and maybe it was too much. So now he's doing Wheel of Fortune. From what I understand, I think they record like a whole bunch of shows in the span of a few days, and then they be off for the rest of the month. So I think that that's probably going to work out better for him, especially if he is having health issues. You know, maybe he can try to get that situated while he's also not working like a fucking, madman. So yeah, it won't be Whoopi Goldberg. It'll be Ryan Seacrest. And I don't know how long the seasons last, but we can look forward to seeing Ryan on there. He's also going to be the consulting producer, as well as Pat Sajak. He's going to stay on as a consultant for the show for 3 years as well. Okay, so yeah, everybody landed on their feet on that one. Whoopi gonna be fine, y'all. She's still on The View. But congratulations to Ryan Seacrest. He is your new host of Wheel of Fortune.
Cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid. Dollar.
And then lastly, you guys, it seems that Angela Bassett will be receiving an honorary Oscar on the next Academy Award simulcast. You guys, now we know that the two-time nominee will finally get her chance to hold a fucking Oscar statue. We've been wanting this for this lady for the longest. Back in 93, 94-ish, when she was nominated for Best Actress for her role of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It. She didn't win then. Just last year, she was nominated for her role as Queen Ramonda in Wakanda Forever, supporting actress, and she didn't win then. Okay, and we was quite pissed about it. So that's Jada going to work. Everybody's in her bonnet, y'all saw. I tell you, you can take the nigga out the hood, y'all. You just can't take the hood out the nigga. But anyway, at least the kids go to work, baby. Jada gonna go to work. She just gonna have that bonnet on. But anyway, yeah, we was upset that she didn't win the Oscar, then, and we was just starting to feel like, damn, is she ever gonna get a fucking chance? Well, yeah, now she is. Even though honorary Oscars is not the same as actually you winning for a specific role in a specific movie that you've been nominated for, so that you can actually say, I was the best actress of 2022, 2023, or whatever. Even though it's a little different, it still is, I believe, the Academy acknowledging that even if the voters may not have given it to her, that she does deserve to have an Oscar, And so we're going to take it. Like I said, a win is a win, you guys. I know that, and those honorary Oscar award members, they still get treated like royalty. You know, there's all these perks once you win certain awards. There's certain perks that those winners get, and they continue to get them throughout the years. And so she will be added to that. I mean, she was already still esteemed because she was nominated, but she didn't win. You know, it's like, you know, you want to win it, you know. So now she will have this. The honorary statuettes are awarded to a select few recipients as voted on by the Academy's Board of Governors for the annual Governors Awards to honor those with extraordinary distinction and exceptional contribution to the film industry. And we know that Angela Bassett, I mean, we don't have enough fingers and toes to count all of the different roles that she's had, that she's done us proud, that she should have gotten some sort of acknowledgement from these different academies on these different, you know, these folks that's sitting on these boards. So I'm just going to say congratulations to Angela Bassett. I still will be very proud of her when she stands up there on that stage and accepts her award. She didn't get it the regular way, but hey, we still gonna take it. Congratulations to Angela Bassett.
Broken dreams to getting paid.
All right, you guys, let me get on off of here, get this edited and up. It's the end of the month, so I'm trying to get this shit done early, you guys. We do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.